I guess we'll just start with what's on the screen right now. As of yesterday, last night, this morning, time zones are a bit confusing. There was an event in Japan where basically the idea was you could come down and play a location test of Akuma. Akuma was playable at a small Japanese event yesterday. And the thing is, as a lot of people predicted, because Akuma was in this build also features a lot of balance changes. It's probably the Season 2 build, with not 100% confirmed. There's always the possibility of more changes or other things coming. But basically, a lot of players started testing for Season 2 changes from this real Battle Hub thing. And before I get into any of the changes, I'm going to need to run through about 5,000 warnings in advance, right? Let me get this out of the way before we even get started. Okay, number one. Yeah, disclaimer number one. These changes are not from any official patch notes from Capcom. They are players trying things and testing them themselves and reporting what they find. That's disclaimer number one. Disclaimer number two. All of these reports are being supplied by Japanese players, which means that when I read them, they have been fed through translation of some sort, whether by a machine or by a person. And that also introduces even more chance of things being incorrect, mistranslated, or missing important context or details, right? Disclaimer number two. Disclaimer number three, Capcom did not allow anyone to record anything on video from this event. So all of the reported changes are only text reports from players. So I have no video evidence to back any of this up. So take everything you're about to see and hear and experience with about 10,000 pinches of salt. Also, I guess disclaimer number four, as I said a minute ago, we don't have any confirmation that the changes in this build are necessarily the final locked-in changes for Season 2. So there are so many things to be careful about when looking at these things. So right now, the way that I'm looking at this stuff is like, oh, this looks cool, but I don't want to invest any effort into like the actual like competitive meaning of any of these changes until they're actually sitting in front of my face on balance patch day, right? So with that being said, let's have a look at the changes. I'll go through the ones that High Fight translated. All right, so we're starting off with a universal change, reportedly. I'm gonna preface, like, you're gonna notice me saying things like reportedly and supposedly a lot, I think, today, because I want to keep reminding people what's going on here. Allegedly, yeah. So allegedly, throw Oki after back throw has been removed universally, and this is a very vague thing. Like, it's hard to be clear what removed means. Does it mean you just zero after a back throw, or, you know, is it different from a character to character? But the general gist seems to be that back throws now have worse Oki. And I think my guess as to the logic behind this is probably it's meant to be like an obscure nerf to perfect parry. I think this is probably meant to be an anti-perfect parry change, because one of the big complaints about perfect parry, if I just hide this real quick and go back into the game, I'm going to be jumping into the game a little bit today. So like a lot of comebacks in this game start through this exact interaction. You see this all the time in this game. Someone will be getting pressured in the corner. They'll land a like stray perfect parry on anything, and they'll do back throw into Oki. And this is really powerful because it side switches. It gives you Oki afterwards, and also because this back throw is a punish counter, you also steal a bar of drive from your opponent. They lose a bar of drive for that. So a lot of momentum shifts in this game that start with a perfect parry come about because of back throw Oki. So maybe the idea here is just this is kind of like a stealth nerf to perfect parry. Alright, these ones were missing from High Fight's translated list. I'm just going to add this in because this is from Fubarduk's translation. So, a couple of changes to drive reversal. These are probably the biggest like system mechanic changes I've seen so far from this list. So drive reversals are now -6 on block, and apparently you can also just raw drive reversal. Like it was mentioned earlier in a different thread, but apparently you can just press forward plus heavy punch, heavy kick, and you can just do a drive reversal without already being in block stun. Yeah, so this is weird. I'm not sure how I feel about the first half of this. The drive reversals right now are -8, and they've been made a little bit safer to -6. And I'm not really sure I get the logic behind this. I guess this means that if you do a drive reversal and the opponent is in burnout, then it's now safe. Like you can basically just drive reversal against a burned out opponent and they can't do much about it other than like hard read it with a super. But I don't really know what the idea is here. And what's strange about this to me is that this doesn't affect a lot of characters that are already good, but it does kind of hurt characters that aren't that good, weirdly. Like, a lot of the best characters in this game have very good 6-frame punishes, and a lot of the weaker characters in this game don't. Because not every character has a 6-frame medium, right? There's like a bunch of characters that don't have 6-frame mediums. Being able to do drive reversal just raw is interesting. This is the kind of thing we're going to need to actually see the change in action to figure out, I think. Because it's like, if the raw drive reversal still has the big freeze frame that eats inputs, it's a 20-frame reversal. I can't see it being super useful. But if this doesn't have the freeze frame, I could see this being useful. But we need to visualize it, yeah. This is the kind of thing we just can't theory craft unless we know more about it. The idea is probably it's meant to beat throw loops, but we'll see. Alright, character changes. Ryu can choose between normal and Denjin charged Hadoken / Hashogeki. Heavy will be Denjin. This is a huge buff, if true. Big if true. I put this on. This is kind of funny because when I did my theory crafted Ryu changes, this is exactly what I said would be my suggested buff for Ryu, and also the only buff that I gave to Ryu. When I was giving 2 buffs to every character in the game, I only gave 1 buff to Ryu, and it was this. This is a huge buff to Ryu's neutral and his combo game. He doesn't have to completely abandon fireballs if he has a Denjin charge. So, I don't know. Keep an eye out for Ryu next season. He could be a problem. He now has amazing fireball neutral and can also cash out with a huge damage combo as well at the end. Yeah, clearly the devs copied my notes. They had no plans for season 2 until they saw my video and stole it all. Alright, Chun Li. 4 MP, 6 MP, cannot hit confirm. That is a nerf, in case you guys don't know. Generally speaking, Street Fighter 6 does not have big cancel windows across the board. Like, single hit confirms in this game are very rare, and the few characters that do have them, it's usually for hit confirming target combos. You know, like how Luke has crouch medium kick target combo, which is confirmable, but the crouch medium kick is not hit confirmable on special cancel. Like, but for some reason, this normal here has a gigantic hit confirm window. Like, you can delay the cancel here way more than you can most in this game. This normal was kind of going against the tradition of most of the normals in this game. And high-level Chun players, i.e. not me, are able to reliably single hit confirm this thing into Drive Rush. And the thing is that Drive Rush cancels in this game are kind of balanced against the cost of the Drive Rush. So, like, the idea here is that, like, if you want to get plus frames off your stray medium, you should have to spend 3 bars of drive. But Chun players were very drive efficient because they didn't have to just guess confirm compared to, like, crouch medium kick Drive Rush. They could actually hit confirm this and just poke with it. So I think that's why Capcom are getting rid of that confirm, because it's just not really consistent with other characters. SA2, less meter gain. I think this is a universal change from what I've seen so far. There's a few level 2s in this game, which for some reason let you still build super meter immediately during or after. So for example, if you look at the bottom left of the screen, you can see that after the level 2, the extension here builds back a little bit of bar. And I don't think Capcom wants that. It's not as egregious on Chun Li. Compared to the other level 2s, I don't think she builds as much, even now, as some of the other level 2s. But I think Capcom just want to get rid of level 2s that let you build back bar during them. So, Yeah. And apparently heavy fireball has more recovery, but I've also heard conflicting reports on this one that it's light fireball. So I'm not really going to comment on this one because this seems like it could be a gas leak incident. I don't know. Fireball might be worse. I don't know which version of fireball because different people have said different things. Could be heavy, could be light, not sure. Make of that what you will. Some fireball, who knows which. Anyway, DJ, jackknife, move distance and hit range reduced. We got DJ nerfs as well. This doesn't surprise me. DJ's up kicks, I think on paper, they're meant to be mostly just either an anti-air and or a combo ender. I think that's the design for them on paper. But they ended up having like 2 extra effects, which I'm not sure are entirely planned by Capcom. One is that the corner carry and stage control that he gets off it is absolutely obscene. And 2, it accidentally turned his uppercut into an absolutely ridiculous punish tool, which I don't know if that was intended either. So like, here's an example. I'll use Jury's a good case study for this. So like Jury's, the whole design of Jury's like Fuha store is that this move here, medium store, is -6. But the idea of this move is that it's meant to be like safe-ish if you space it right. So like up close, it's designed to be punishable. But if you can do it at the tip like that, it leaves you like half screen away. And the idea is that like if you can space Jury properly, you can get charges up safely. Unfortunately, heavy jackknife maximum exists. So a bunch of moves in this game, which were very clearly designed to be safe if spaced properly, are basically guaranteed punishes at every single range from DJ. So like that's one example. Let me just show you one more. I don't think there's any range, as far as I know, where Jamie can do any wrecker and not get hit by this, even at the absolute tip. I don't know if Capcom intended for this to work this way, but yeah, DJ's uppercut is also an absolutely bonkers punish tool in this game. So that's one thing. And the other thing I mentioned a minute ago, the corner carry on this thing is kind of stupid. Because not only does the heavy uppercut carry you a long way across the screen, you also get double dash Oki afterwards. So like if we start in like the middle of the stage, for example, he gets 2 dashes into Oki and you're almost in the corner just from that, which is very unusual in this game from an anti-air. Like if you just land like a stray hit from like here, for example, like this gives you massive corner carry. This is like almost Ken levels of corner carry, but with twice the damage output of Ken. So yeah, I'm not surprised they're nerfing the travel distance on this thing. What was the other change? I forgot. OD just cool maximum, more damage scaling. Is maximum the kick, the launcher? Okay, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. DJ damage reductions don't surprise me at all, if they are true. That's very believable. And the last one is, yeah, so this is the same idea. This is the same idea as the Chun change. DJ can end his level 2 early and link after it. And he can build a lot of meter off that. Like, I showed you the Chun one a minute ago, and the Chun meter build wasn't very impressive, but like, DJ can actually build a shitload of meter off his level 2 combos if he stops early. So like, if you stop the level 2 at any point in the first few hits, I think you're +6. So I'm not gonna do the full level 2 into the last hit because I haven't practiced the rhythm, but just pretend that I did. I'm just gonna start off the first hit. Let me think of a combo. Let me do this. There you go. So that combo cost 2 bars and it built back what, like 80% of a bar, nearly a full bar back from the extension, and that's cutting the combo super short because I didn't do the full thing. Also, keep in mind, this level 2 is a fully invincible wake-up reversal. So if you're wondering to yourself, okay, he built a lot of bar, but that combo did no damage, what you've got to keep in mind is, if DJ... Let's imagine a scenario where the DJ player is, like, being pressured, and the opponent has, like, 30% health left, right? if you successfully wake up with this thing, you can choose to just like abandon the rest of the level 2 and then just go into like this. Choose the lower damage combo that's still gonna kill anyway because your opponent's only got like a, you know, 25% health. And that level 2 investment is almost halved because of that follow-up. And that's mid-screen. I'm sure you get much more in the corner. Alright. Blanka changes, courtesy of Dogura. This first one I didn't even know about until I saw this. Apparently, Blanka's Drive Rush overhead is currently +2 on block and not +1 like most Drive Rush overheads. I didn't even know this was a thing. Yeah, +2. That's interesting. I didn't even know about that. So in this game, 99% of Drive Rush overheads are +1 rather than +2. They're usually -3 on block, so I guess this is -2. Yeah. The difference this makes is that +2 gives you an actual tick throw afterwards. So the throw there will beat buttons. But by making it +1, if you jab here with a 4-frame, it will beat Blanka's throw. So that's more like a normalization. I don't know what this one is. I assume that there was some minor combo inconsistency for Blanka, but that just sounds like a quality of life thing. So it sounds like from the reports, like they haven't really mentioned much Blanka changes. I'm really curious to see what they've done with Blanka's level 2, if anything. That's my main concern about Blanka, so that's kind of a nothing burger right there. But one thing to keep in mind, as I said, this is not the full list. So if your character is not mentioned in the balance change lists that have been reported, it doesn't mean they're not changed. Capcom have already been explicit and said that every single character in the roster is getting balance changes. And number 2, there is obviously going to be dozens, if not hundreds, of changes which are not reported. Minor changes to frame data and things that people haven't even tried to test. So there's so much missing from this. Anyway, Cammy. It looks like Cammy got nerfed. 4 MP HK heavy hooligan plus HK won't connect but does still side switch. So this is her corner escape, right? So Cammy's one of those super privileged characters like Ken, who can basically just like side switch for free off any stray hit. They'll combo the target combo into hooligan and then end with the dive kick, and it gives them corner escape and side switch and Oki afterwards. It's kind of like one of those like all-in-one combos. And because the other thing about Cammy you have to remember is that she can link her crouch jab into back medium punch for reasons unknown to science. So as long as she has enough frame advantage to do a crouch jab, she can always side switch here. You'll see this a lot of perfect parries as well. We were talking a bit about the power of perfect parry back throw a minute ago. This is basically the privileged Cammy version of that. You'll see that a lot too. But the thing is, it's a very minor slap on the wrist. Because it does say that she can still side switch, so presumably you can still do this. You get the side switch from the hooligan. You just don't get the dive kick at the end. I guess the dive kick loses juggle points. It'll be like that. That's what you should expect it to be like. So she still gets the side switch off a very accessible combo route. She just loses a little bit of damage off the end. So, it's a nerf. Not the end of the world, but it is a nerf. OD Spin Knuckle, projectile invincible starts late. As an Aki player, this does bring me pleasure. It does bring me joy. Any change which means that I don't immediately lose the entire round for having the temerity to try and use my fireball against Cammy is nice. Because right now, I mean, the thing is, she still has amazing anti-fireball moves. Heavy Spin Knuckle, EX Spin Knuckle, both very good. It just sounds like you have to be a bit better with your timing and maybe more of a prediction than a reaction. Right now, especially against Aki, Cammy can just like EX Hooligan on reaction and it goes to a full combo. So again, another nerf. I like how I'm looking at the chat right now and like 80% of the comments are like, yeah, that's a very good justified change. And then 20% is Cammy players pissing their pants. SA2 changed command from kick to punch. This is presumably just the quality of life. I've seen a few incidents of Cammy players complaining that dive kick overlaps with her air super sometimes. So I'm assuming that's just to stop that from happening. Yeah. No longer you'll get accidental level 2 from dive kick. Oh man, this one was crazy. E-Honda. We were talking about this a little bit before the stream started, but it seems like someone at Capcom really doesn't like Honda. Honda is already not a strong character, but the changes that we've seen reported so far seem to be massive nerfs. I have to believe that there's a ton of buffs hiding under the surface to offset this, because if this is all that there is, this character is absolutely fucked. We'll see. Anyway, Butt Slam pushes back further on block. He can't even get crouch jab afterwards now, apparently, which is crazy. I mean, it's only +1, I think. But yeah, this move is +1, and it already does push back a fairly considerable distance. Like, you're not even remotely in throw range right now. You're also, I think you can just walk out of command grab a lot of the time. Yeah. So his mix-up off this has always been a bit fake, even in the current version. But the fact they've made it even worse is an interesting choice to go with. 5 MP apparently has more range. It moves forward. I mean, it's a fairly good button. Not much to comment on that one. This is like one of Honda's like better pokes in neutral. So if this has been buffed, then I guess that's nice. It is special cancelable. So I guess he did get something. This is the crazy one. This is the one that I had to read like twice when I first saw it to make sure I wasn't misunderstanding. And I did check with a couple of different translators and they all said the same thing. So apparently, and I say apparently, supposedly, theoretically, if you neutral jump headbutt now, rather than Honda just flying underneath you and going to full screen, he just stops if you neutral jump and you can just punish on landing. Like, you can just neutral jump headbutt and punish. But that is a colossal nerf. Like, they're gonna have to make like headbutt plus on block or some shit to offset this. I have to assume there's like 3 pages of Honda buffs lying in wait in the full balance patch, because this is a gigantic nerf. If this is true and there aren't a bunch of huge buffs to counteract this, it's not looking like it's going to be a good year for the Honda community. That's all I'll say. Anyway, let's move on. Luke jump heavy punch, much bigger hurt box. I mean, frankly, I'm shocked this wasn't already changed in the mini balance patch a couple months back. You can now actually anti-air Luke. I know. Huge nerf. Also, back heavy kick, less plus frames, cannot combo into itself after punish counter drive rush 4 HK. This one, I saw a lot of people seeing this and saying, finally, they've nerfed Luke's combos, but this is not the reason why Luke's combos did stupid damage. Because like this was a moderately situational link. Because that change won't affect his common combo routes. Because right now, back heavy kick does 1,000 damage for some stupid reason. This is the same amount of damage, by the way, as Marissa doing full charge back heavy punch. So a combo like that, which you will see all the time in the current patch, is completely unaffected by that change. The only time this actually matters is for like very specific punishes on like blocked level 1s and stuff, where you start the punish with like drive rush back heavy kick into itself. Like this will be nerfed slightly. But like I said, I think this is kind of like a misleading change, because the reason that Luke's combos do fat damage isn't because of this link. It's because back heavy kick does 1,000 damage. So yeah, I'm hoping that's not the only change to back heavy kick. This might not link anymore either. Right now it's +4 on hit, so they'd have to make this thing +2 to get rid of that loop. That's possible. They might have done that as well. But I mean, given what a beast Luke has been all year long, this is a very conservative couple of changes. Obviously, as I said a million times, there's almost certainly going to be way more than this in the actual balance patch. But if these are the only two things that like obviously stood out to the playtesters, I'm a little bit concerned. We're gonna have another year of beast mode, baby. All right, Guile. I like the maybe on this one. So back kick, let's range brackets maybe. I mean, right now, this is a very good button, and it also jumps lows. And it has a hitbox right up to the tip of his foot. So, seems like this lost a bit of range. Maybe. Dunno. Perchance. It's a nerf. Yeah, I think they did something similar to that in Street Fighter 5 as well, I remember that. Less meter gain for loop combo. Didn't mention if it's exclusive to SA2 loop or not. That's interesting. So we already mentioned the Super 2s have been nerfed for meter gain. But even outside of the level 2, Guile's boom loop in the corner built a stupid amount of bar. I don't even know the combo, I can't really do it off the top of my head. Like that. Getting the guaranteed level 1 at the end is not normal there. Alright, JP. I haven't actually, didn't even realize there were JP changes. This is the first time seeing these. I didn't even notice these before. Level 2, more recovery. Cannot combo from light to SA2 to medium attack anymore. This is one of the things that I recommended when I was talking about my ideal changes to JP, is I didn't like how he could perfect parry like a jab and then just respond with jab into level 2 into destroy your drive gauge with 2 DIs. So I guess this is an attempt to like stop that from a different angle. You can do stuff like this, which is kind of stupid. So I guess they don't want him doing light level 2. It says he can't do light level 2 into mediums anymore, but it doesn't mention if he can do like jab level 2 into another jab. Like, I don't know if that works, so we'll see. It sounds like it's an attempt to tone down his level 2 off light activations. And the other thing is that if that means that level 2 has like slower startup, I assume that's where they're going with this. Like there's more time before the first ghost comes down. It could also mean it's worse at locking you down. So like for example, maybe if he does like crouch medium punch, activate crouch jab, that might not be a true block string anymore. You might be able to like parry there. You might have more openings to parry. OD Strybog can combo into from medium attack and target combo. So this is actually a buff. It's actually quite a good buff. OD Spin is actually kind of complete garbage in like current JP. It's weird because like almost everything JP has is extremely good, but he's always had like one weird gap in his kit. This thing is terrible. It's like borderline useless. It's meant to be like a faster version of heavy spin, but it's never really used for anything because it doesn't combo off mediums, which you would expect it to. It combos off the target combo, but it doesn't combo off like crouch medium. I don't think it combos off stand medium kick either. No. Like these would be useful. These would be useful cancels if they worked, but right now they don't. What's good about this is that this, I think, is a big buff to JP's like counter hit and punish counter combos. Because right now, if JP gets like, for example, like you get a punish counter crouch jab, his conversions off this aren't very good unless he spends 3 bars on a drive rush. Especially from distance. It's like if you're at distance, back medium punch doesn't reach. So the only way you can really convert off this very well is if you do this. And that costs 3 bars. But now he should be able to do like this. But yeah, so that's a cute little quality of life change for him. And it sounds like level 2 might have been nerfed a little bit. The thing that I'm curious about with Season 2 JP more than anything is what they do with this button. JP's crouch medium punch, as far as I'm concerned, is like Satan condensed into a hitbox. I hate this thing. It's like uncheckable out of a drive rush. So I kind of want to see some changes to that as well. Oh. You notice how like every character we've seen so far, there's been like 2 or 1 reported change? Well, that format is about to change for a certain character. One that I'm quite fond of myself. Aki seems to have won the lottery here. And some of them are things that I asked for, and some of them are things that I was not expecting at all. So the first one is Light Serpent Lash. Apparently has less knockback distance on, presumably this is Toxic Blossom. And apparently this crumples on Punish counter, which is interesting. So right now, so Aki's Light Whip, as it is right now, is mostly just a harassment tool. It's got good range and it's fairly safe on block. But it doesn't really lead to anything. Like, that's the general trend of this move. It just does a bit of damage, and if the opponent is already poisoned, it does knock down, but the knockdown is completely useless because it just spins them and sends them full screen. Like, you can't get anything off this, not even remotely close. If you're in the corner and you get very lucky, you can pick up a small juggle off this. So in the corner, you can link into Crouch Fierce and Super, and that's about it. That's about all you get off this right now. Corner only juggles into 1 extra move. Yeah, so Toxic Blossom, as it is right now, it doesn't really lead to anything. So I'm hoping, what they've said in the notes is that this juggle no longer knocks as far away. I don't know what that means exactly. This is one we're going to have to see in practice. Does it mean that you can now, like, get a juggle here? Can I do, like, Toxic Blossom Light Whip and then Drive Rush afterwards and pick up a juggle? I don't know. We'll have to see. Probably better Oki. See, I don't think it would be an Oki thing because she already gets Oki after this. Like, even though this knocks down to full screen, Aki's Drive Rush is so obnoxiously fast that she actually does get Oki off this right now. Like, her drive rush is already so good that you get Oki here anyway. So I have to imagine that you get more than just Oki. Maybe you get a combo off it, but I'm not sure. And the other thing they mentioned was, yeah, supposedly Light Whip on Punish counter now leads to a crumple of some sort, which is very interesting. Because right now, Punish counter Light Whip doesn't have any bonus effect. I actually, when Aki first came out, I did do some testing to see if you could use this as a combo starter for, like, DP punishes and stuff. Because you do get a link after it. This thing is +5 on Punish counter right now, so you can do something like this. Like, you can use it as a combo starter, but there's never any reason to do it. Because this is so unoptimal. You have to link into stand light kick and it kills your damage. But if this leads to a crumple, this could be a very good, like, combo starter. I guess the idea, yeah, I think what this is it's meant to sort of be equivalent to Ed. Ed's flicker is quite similar to Aki's light chain. But the difference is that if Ed gets a punish counter, he gets a crumple, and then you can drive in for a combo. So I'm assuming it'll work like this. I'm assuming they're basically giving Aki the same thing that they already gave Ed. Both sound like that. I mean, that sounds like a nice little buff. I'll take that if it's true. The next one is Crouch Medium Kick is apparently now +5 on hit, which is interesting. I'm really glad, by the way, that they didn't make Crouch Medium Kick special cancelable. I was praying that they wouldn't turn Aki into a brain dead low forward drive rush character. So I'm really happy they haven't done that. So right now, Aki 2MK is +4 on hit. And you can link after it. You can do Crouch Medium Kick, Crouch Jab. This is a combo. Adding the +5 on its own doesn't do much. Like, you'll be able to do, like, stand light kick instead of Crouch Jab, which is not super useful, if I'm being honest. But that's not the main appeal of this change. So, like, you'll be able to do that, which could have occasional uses. But the real reason this is an interesting change is because Drive Rush Crouch Medium Kick. Drive Rush Crouch Medium Kick right now is +8. With this change, it'll be +9. And wouldn't you know it, Stand Heavy Kick is 9 frame startup. So right now, the optimal combo after drive rush crouch medium kick is literally just to link into medium punch and then uppercut. But that's about all you get if your opponent isn't already poisoned. It's a pretty short combo. But if this buff is true, it'll be more like this. It's a pretty significant combo extension. So she'll get a good amount of extra damage off drive rush crouch medium kick. I saw a couple of people saying that being able to link into stand light kick will be useful because it can stop people walking out of Aki's pressure strings. But that's actually not true. I just want to say real quick that that's kind of like a thing that you hope would be the case, but probably isn't the case because if I show you something, here's drive rush stand medium kick into throw. Okay, this is like a basic Aki interaction. You might do drive rush medium kick for the +2, and then you throw afterwards. But the thing is, you can actually just walk out of this throw. This is not a true tick throw. So as you see, like any character with fast back walk speed can just walk out of this shit. And I saw a lot of people saying like now you can punish them for doing it by chasing them down with crouch medium kick into stand light kick. But as you see, even if they buff crouch medium kick to be +5, the issue isn't the frame advantage, it's the pushback. So even if this link now worked on a frame level, it wouldn't work on a pushback level. So there aren't many situations where this would be useful for stopping people walking out of pressure. I think that the main selling point of this buff is the drive rush crouch medium kick. The regular crouch medium kick being +5 versus +4 doesn't change too much. Okay, 5 HP, faster startup. This is something that I requested myself. I'm really glad to see this as well. We don't know the exact numbers on this. What I'm really praying, if I get my wish, this will be reduced from 12 frames to 10 frames. If they do that, I will be very happy. Reducing it to 11, from 12 to 11 won't change much. That, like, 1 frame difference wouldn't affect much, but if they reduce it from 12 to 10, that will open up the combo that I requested, which is this. So that will now combo. Punish counter stand medium kick will now link into stand heavy punch if they reduce this to 10 frames. It will look like this, in theory. That will be a combo. So, like, you'll be able to, like, whiff punish at max range with stand medium kick and then actually get a combo afterwards, which would be so nice. Because right now, stand medium kick is an amazing button, but the downside of having an amazing hitbox is that this doesn't really lead to much. Like, all you get afterwards is just sweep or level 3. That's about it. But if they reduce this to 10 frames, you'll actually get a really cool combo off this. So I really hope that one's 10 frames. 10 frames is the goal. 11 would be not very noticeable. This is the buff I'm most happy about. I am so happy to see this. Please God, let this be true. Venomous Fang is now supposedly projectile invulnerable from frame 1. Venomous Fang, if you don't know, is coward crouch dive. This move here. I have been talking about how this move is supposed to be a projectile punish, except it doesn't work consistently against projectiles since like day 1. It's programmed in a very weird way. It's like upper body invincible for some reason rather than just projectile invincible. A lot of Aki's worst matchups are matchups where this move doesn't work properly against fireballs, like Guile, for example, JP, for example. All of these matchups where the opponent is using projectiles, but my anti-projectile move just isn't good enough to compete with them. If this is what I think it is, this might completely change those matchups. Like, Guile and JP could instantly stop being bad matchups if this is, like, truly a good anti-fireball move now. So I'm really excited about this. This is a potentially very strong change. Yeah, it also depends a lot on how much of the dive she's invincible for. Being fully projectile invulnerable could be amazing, or it could be not very interesting. Just depends on how many frames she holds onto it for. Like, if she loses the projectile invincibility, like, shortly after leaving the ground, it could still be kind of rough, but we'll see. I'm trying to remain positive. But this could be very good. And lastly, we've got another maybe change. Medium Serpent Lash. I think Lash, not last. Faster startup brackets maybe question mark. Medium Lash right now is a weird move. I think probably the intention when they were designing this move was that it's supposed to be like an anti-air from long range. But it's so unbelievably slow and the hitbox is so unreliable that it's basically unusable as an anti-air right now. I very occasionally will use this as an anti-air if I like hard read someone jumping from full screen. If I'm feeling super confident in my reads. You basically have to do this thing before your opponent has even left the ground to anti-air with it. So maybe if this is faster, hopefully it can actually be used as like a long-range anti-air now. And the other thing is, if this thing's startup is reduced, that's also a huge buff to her combo game. I haven't seen anyone mention that, but if this thing's startup is reduced, there's a good chance it will now combo off crouch jab. But if you can do crouch jab into medium whip, that would be a huge upgrade to a lot of her combos. Because it means that rather than doing like coward crouch roll, jab, jab, heavy uppercut, like that, you would do coward crouch roll, jab, jab, medium, and then do like this afterwards. There are a lot of combos that would be upgraded if you can, if this is now fast enough that it combos off jab. But we don't know for sure, we'll see. But yeah, seems like Aki got a lot of cool stuff. I'm just hoping that this is all true and not a mirage brought about by copium. Okay, Jamie. Heavy palm is now apparently safe on block, not in throw range, might be -2. I mean, that's a good buff. He can now just throw out heavy palm. To be honest, Jamie players are already just throwing out heavy palm. So, at the very least, now they can use the excuse that they're doing it because it's because it's actually safe. Yeah, fuck it, we palm. Yeah, so this is a Jamie buff, but it's not going to change anything about how Jamie players play because they're already just throwing this move out, even right now. OD command grab, more damage scaling. I'm not surprised by this one. This is actually a nerf, but I think this is a necessary nerf. If they're going to buff like the rest of Jamie's kit, they probably do need to like tone down a few of the stupid things to sort of like even him out more. You know, lift up the weak stuff, but also like bring down a couple of other things because I've talked about this on stream before, but we'll just do it one more time. Fun fact of the day. Yeah, so just a reminder, if Jamie has 4 drinks and does EX command grab straight into critical art, this does 5,665 damage, which as I've mentioned before, that is more damage from a command grab than Geef's critical art. That is more than 300 damage over the best, like, I mean, Guile is supposed to be like the archetypal grappler. So I don't think the guy who is cripplingly addicted to drinking should probably be doing more from a command grab. So I can understand why they've added a bit of scaling to his EX command grab. That makes sense. 2 MP plus 5 on hit combos into OD palm. That sounds like a pretty good buff. I'm not a Jamie expert myself. Plus 5 on hit, I think that means he now has like a counter hit link into crouch medium kick, which is a common frame trap. So you like stand medium punch, crouch medium punch, fish for counter hit. And I think that, doesn't that also give him a link into stand light kick? It also combos into target combo, yeah. I think this is a nice little buff. It just opens up a lot of hit confirm routes off crouch medium punch. And the other change is 5 MP plus 2 on block. That's really nice. In this game, the difference between having a +1 normal and a +2 normal is huge. +1 normals aren't that threatening, +2 normals are very threatening in this game. I don't think this will lead to a tick throw. I think there's probably too much pushback. What is this? 8 frame startup +2? That's 6 frames, yeah. So the thing is, If you now do stand medium punch, crouch medium punch, there is a big gap here. It's +1 into a 6 frame. So jab mash will beat this string here, which we were just talking about a minute ago. This is kind of complementary with the previous change. But if this is +2 into a 6 frame, the crouch medium punch will trade rather than losing, and you'll probably get a trade combo afterwards, I would imagine. If I set them to do a 5 frame jab. So that's what will happen, but for 4 frames. And the only concern for me here is that it looks like you'll just get pushed out too far. Yeah, see, this is one of those ones which on paper looked very good to me, but now testing what it's going to look like, this crouch medium punch doesn't do that much hit stun. So actually no, this is going to be buffed. It is worth keeping in mind that the crouch medium punch is getting more hit stun. But even still, if this goes to like, I don't know, +7, Jamie can't convert +7 at this range. I don't know why this is doing so much pushback. It gives him more frame traps. Having a +2 medium is definitely a very good thing in this game. But it's not as brain dead as some frame traps. Alright. Zangief. 6 HP +7 on here. Oh, that's really good. I don't know, maybe the Geef community aren't happy. I personally think that's a really good buff. Because one thing I noticed when I was playing Geef for my week of Geef, which by the way, the finale for that is still being produced. It hasn't ended. I've got one more episode to come. One thing I noticed is that whenever I landed a hit, I caught someone like, let's say I caught someone trying to jump out of my string with forward heavy punch. One thing I noticed is that if I landed the hit here, because this is +6, the only things you can link afterwards for the hit confirm is either crouch jab or crouch short. And neither of those options lead into a combo without spending drive. Like, Geef has no way to end this combo without spending at least 2 bars of drive on EX Lariat. Like, you can't do jab into Lariat for some reason, and you also can't do like this. Which I thought was a very weird balancing decision, which I hadn't really noticed until I played Geef. You always have to spend 2 bars on EX Lariat here, or 3 on a drive rush. But with the new buff, you can now just do this. Which is significantly cheaper in terms of drive, and also way more damage. I think it's really nice. Anything that reduces the obscene amount of drive Geef has to constantly spend on his combos is a huge buff as far as I'm concerned. One of Geef's biggest weaknesses is that he often has to spend a shitload of drive to get in, and then by the time that he does get in, he can't finish his combos because he has no drive. It's like a catch-22. So I think this is really good. Does it open anything else up? I mean, you can also link into stand light kick, but I don't think you'd ever want to. I think you can always get hell stab here, like even at max range. Okay. Stomping. First and second is not true block string. I mean, I assume this is to do with his down medium kick. I'm gonna be honest. In my entire Geef experiment, my week of Geef, I don't think I used this move a single time. Is this good? Is this bad? I don't even know what the implication of this is. What is this? Just so you guys know, this move is down medium kick, and you can keep pressing medium kick to do more stomps, but it's not a combo for some reason. You can special cancel it also. There's a couple of gimmicks I've seen with this thing where you can do like 3 stomps into a cancel. If the second one counter hits, the third one combos. It already works like that. What? If the second one counter hits into a combo, then this is a buff. But that's how it works right now. The gas leak, certified gas leak change. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that one. I don't know if the report is correct, and I don't know if this change is what they think it is. So I'm going to ignore it. It's just a frame trap now, but it already is a frame trap. That's what I'm saying. Look, it is a frame trap. I've got Deejay set to wake up with stand jab, which is his 4 frame. Look, he gets counter hit. That's also a frame trap. That one's a frame trap too. This is definitely smelling like a gas leak. Even the Zangief players in chat don't seem to know how this move works, so I've got no chance of understanding it. I don't know. I'm putting a big question mark on that one. Whatever. We're moving on. I got too much to cover here. I can't be trying to figure out Zangief 2-2 MK all day. Kimberly. This buff I think is huge, by the way. I hadn't even thought about this until I saw it, and now I suddenly think this is a massive buff. Kimberly EX Tatsu can now cancel into level 2. As it is right now, she can only do this from Air Tatsu. Right now, she can only really combo level 2 off like Air EX Tatsu, which limits its like combo potential pretty severely, because that means that you almost always have to start from like shoulder first. And then spend, because the thing is, like, most Kimberlys won't go straight into heavy shoulder, so you'll see lots of stuff like this. And they're spending like 5 bars of drive just to go into level 2. So being able to just like end any combo now in EX Tatsu level 2 is going to be nice for her drive costs. You'll be able to do stuff like this and then cancel that into level 2. And what's crazy, yeah, is that in the mini balance patch, the one that happened a couple months ago, they made this thing a good anti-air, grounded EX Tatsu. This thing is now a pretty consistent anti-air, and she can now cancel it into level 2. And if you just do that basic ass combo, if you just do EX Tatsu into level 2 as an anti-air, that does like over 40%, I think. But I think that's a nice buff. It's a buff to her overall combo structure, and it's also a buff to her anti-airs pretty significantly. Level 1, she can now choose not to use the spray can. This was pretty obvious. I think almost everyone mentioned this in some capacity, that it's really stupid how level 1 forces you to use a spray can. I'm not surprised it's now optional. So this is now just the same as Jury's level 1, basically. H Vagabond Edge combo into OD air grab. So what, you're able to do like this into that. I'm sure that opens up some cool combo routes for her. You can probably do like forward heavy kick in or drive rush crouch fierce afterwards. Heavy Senpu Kyaku, faster air attack in V maybe question mark. I guess heavy Tatsu is now a slightly better anti-air. I don't know. I never see anyone use that thing as an anti-air, so I don't even know if that's noteworthy. If I see a change to a move that's not really used as an anti-air very often and it's followed by maybe, I'm just gonna be like, okay, whatever you say. I'm gonna just sort of wait for the patch notes on that one. All right, Rashid, SA2, no meter gain when active, even throw. This was obvious. You know, everyone asked for this. This is the most obvious change. I think every single person's like requested balance changes asked for this. So one thing I would like to mention though, a lot of people don't actually know how Rashid's meter gain in level 2 actually works in this game. So, if you don't know, Rashid can build meter, whoops, after his level 2. So like you can just like mix people up and do shit and build tons of bar. Like that obviously has to go, and that's what they're getting rid of. But Rashid does actually get put in meter lock once the tornado makes contact, which a lot of people don't know about. So like, if once the tornado actually like reaches the opponent, if you watch now, the rest of this combo builds absolutely no super. So he does already have a meter prevention on like his level 2. It's just programmed to only activate once the tornado makes contact, which is stupid. So they're just making it so that all of the stuff that you do beforehand, like all of this shit, that's not building any extra bar. All right, we're getting near the end here. Last 2. Ken, reported by Aita. Medium punch, heavy punch target combo, always a true block string, no delay cancel. That's a nerf. That's a minor nerf, but it is a nerf to Ken. So one of the great lies that Ken players like to get away with right now is they like to say stuff like, oh, if Ken is so strong, why doesn't he have any normals that are plus on block? Why is every single normal Ken has minus on block? And they're being very sneaky when they say that, because they're intentionally not mentioning the fact that you can delay cancel this target combo. So even though the medium punch here is minus 2. If you try and interrupt this thing, that happens. So it's not strictly plus, but that's a very annoying pseudo frame trap, especially because he can make it safe by doing this and then gets combo afterwards. So the idea, I guess, is now if you ever block Ken's stand medium punch, you can almost always take your turn afterwards. Because if they go for the target combo, it'll just be a block string. No Jinrai changes? That's concerning, yeah. If it was me, if I was at the event and they asked me to test Ken, the very first thing I would have checked is medium Jinrai into the low follow-up on block. Is it still -5? Does it still leave you half screen away? Anyway, Manon. 4 HP combos into OD. I'm not even going to attempt it. Yeah, so true. I'm glad they supplied inputs. That's spin kick, I think. So that. So that's now a combo. Is that what they were saying? So I guess before you needed like punish counter or something for that. Yeah. Okay. Who cares? I mean, that's not bad because can't she go into back heavy punch off like punish counter lights? I don't know. That seems pretty good to me. This is a good juggle starter. She gets good juggles off this thing. I don't know. I'm sure this is a nice buff for her combo game, but it seems like she probably has other issues that need addressing too. I'll wait for IDOM's official review of that one. Lily, 2 HP, bigger hurtbox on whiff. Oh no, maybe question mark? I mean, crouch heavy punch is the all-in-one Lily button. The only Lily button? Yeah, if you were trapped on a desert island and asked to survive with only one button, this is the one you want. But I'm not sure how I feel about any reports about recovery increases, especially if it's followed by the word maybe question mark. This might have more recovery, it might not. We'll see. Alright, I think that was the end. Was that the last one? Oh, okay. So apparently we've got no reported changes from Dalsim, Jury, Marissa, or Ed. But as I said earlier, Capcom have already confirmed the balance patch is going to have changes for every character in the game. So just because nothing was reported does not mean that there are no changes to these characters. And also likewise, just because a change was reported doesn't mean it exists. So terms and conditions apply. See in store for details, etc, etc. PS, nothing on this thread is confirmed. The thing is, it is worth keeping in mind that this Akuma like playtest event I think is running for a few more days. They've just wrapped up day 1, but I think it is running for like a week. So hopefully a lot of the reports over the next few days will be tested more thoroughly. We might get more information, more changes to go through. This is all literally just day 1 reports. So I guess just to wrap up, it looks like Aki won. Just based on how much each character has been reported so far, Aki is definitely the most buffed character of all the ones that have been tested, which is kind of crazy. So that's good. I'm feeling good about that. Hopefully that trend continues. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. When's the balance patch? 22nd? We're probably going to get a lot more information dribbling out over the next 3 weeks. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Season 2 is looking bright.